All right. I know I'm a little bit late, but welcome back, guys. This is Dude with another Ruby review, and this time this is for Volume 8, Chapter 11, titled Risk. And this was just my honest opinion of it. My just emotional everywhere. Every single scene had some type of emotional pull all around it. All around it. The the one that got me the most was between Rin and Nora, and they are that's just a couple. That's just the goals type of couple. That's a couple right there that that I I want to like really just succeed, just to live through. Nobody else has to die type of couple. That's them. That's Ren and Nora. But I just have a tap feeling one or both of them are just going to not be able to, not going to make it. But that's later. But through it all, I think that this whole chapter is about realization of certain things. The other conversation is between all of Team Ruby. They were discussing what to do about the situation with where Ironwood 1 hour request to fulfill. And I'm sitting there like, oh, are they actually going to do it? Are they going to actually let Penny go to the vault? Something, and they're all frustrated. Like, well, I can't say they're all frustrated. I'm gonna say Ruby is frustrated over the fact that they're like they haven't changed from their position where they started off from before, and it's kind of like wearing on her, and plus the fact that the Grim are silver-eyed, that certain Grim are silver-eyed warriors. So hence hence why she kind of calls back to Tyrion wanting to bring her back alive, because Salem's whole MO was to kill off all the silver-eyed warriors. But then she started to experiment with the silver-eyed warriors, and Ruby realized that her experimentation had to have started with Summer or their mom. So it's kind of like that's a load to take on, plus trying to save Mantle, plus trying to save Atlas, plus trying to save Penny, plus trying to save everything, plus trying to make sure Salem doesn't come back. Plus, it's a lot. It's a lot to take on for just in her young life. That's a that's a bunch of responsibility right there. The whole world is literally in her hands. And and I'm happy that, like Oscar kind of pointed out, that Ozpin is officially back amongst the group, but everybody is still kind of not with it, just due to the fact that he just kind of just booked it after everything got a little bit too real for him. And Crow and Robbins was all right. Just throwing this random factor, this little funny little thing that just made me a little giggle a little bit. Is that the fact that they're named, that they're both birds. They're both birds. Birds of a feather flock together. that was it. That was it. You can just you can just you can just pause the video and just go on about your day after that, or just cut off the video altogether. Heck, burn the computer. But anyway, no. But I think their conversation, like, it's more like Crow has to keep his emotions in check. he hasn't been able to drink away his problems or like numb himself with alcohol since he basically quit around a couple of volumes ago. If I'm right, a couple of volumes ago. If I'm wrong, just correct me down in the comments. I want to say it was probably volume 5. If I'm being realist, if I'm thinking it was volume 5 or volume 6. One of those volumes is when he was like, I'm done with it. But uh, let's see. Yeah, it's all about. Well, dang, I done dropped my whole suitcase. It's all about pretty much him accepting the fact that Clover is gone. Robin is like, but I recognize you as the better huntsman. You were a better huntsman because you were doing what should have been said is my honest opinion. What should have been said is like you were doing what you thought was right, so it won't seem so kind of convoluted. Like, okay, what you were doing was right versus what you believe you were doing was right. So then it won't paint Clover like it does kind of paint Clover as like the bad guy, even though he was also just doing what he believed was right, as most people do when they do certain things. Like, which is sorry about that, picking up my bags. Which is like the main reason how it's like how you get good guys versus bad guys, which is kind of like in itself. Just this is just me just speaking out of it. Good guys versus bad guys in itself is kind of like I get the concept of it. Like, it's a bad thing to kill a bunch of people, but it's a bad thing to like want to kill an entire. Look, Ironwood. Ironwood is a prime example of this. Ironwood wants to kill an entire city. Mantle. He wants to kill Mantle in order to save millions more, because this is him believing that he is right. Like, this is him believing that this is the only course of action that he can take, and there's nothing else that he could think of, because he's so, well, according to everybody else, I guess I can see that his semblance kind of puts him, kind of makes him just stubborn as all hell. I'll just call it what it is. It's just that stubbornness. His metal is making him mental, and it's just beyond belief. And what I'm starting to note, and speaking of that situation with the Aesops and Ironwood, Marrow, going off on Ironwood, going off on the whole situation. It just felt iffy. And then my problem with that is Harriet. Harriet is the worst type of character I have ever seen. The worst type of, no, scratch that. She's the worst type of person that I can't stand. Because instead of trying to listen to reason, she just doesn't care. Like, Meryl was trying to explain, it's like you're gonna bluff with the lives of an entire city. And then Vine is trying to, Vine is like, in order for the kids to see reason. It's kind of with me, it's kind of like in between. Like, okay, I get that, but really, whole city, and he's gonna bomb it, and then he comes in and confirms that he's going to bomb it. Winter is sitting there like, oh my god, this dude is nuts on so many levels. He's walnuts and pecans and cashews nuts. Holy shite. He is nuts. I can't be behind this guy. So, and then Meryl just kind of goes off saying that, yo, I used to look up to you. I used to respect you. I wanted us to, I wanted to help out because, even though Atlas is treating my people like, well, even though Atlas is treating my people kind of terrible, um, I believed in what you were doing, man. I believed in a long time for what you were doing. That's why I joined up. Now I feel like, you just doing what you want to do. You ain't got no real good intentions. Now you done fell off the deep end. So, respectfully, sir, I say middle fingers up. And Ironwood took that personally. So he clocked back that gun of his, that pistola, and Winter took him down, saved Meryl's life. Saved Meryl's life. Took him down, took him to the brig. They both go into the brig together. It's setting up for something, setting up for something. They might defect. They might go ahead and defect, and I think that's who Robin and Crow ran into in the elevator. That's just me. I think they ran into each other. Let's see. What else happened? Oh yeah, the moment with Rwby and Yang also, like, again, emotional. Tears are running down people, like tears were forming in my eyes as I was watching it. Because the reality of the, like, Yang broke down. Like, that's the first time I seen Yang actually break down since volume 4. After that, she's just been like Yang. She's been herself this whole time, but now it's taking an emotional toll for her. And, Rwby is trying, is like doubting herself just due to the fact that all of her plans lately have backfired. Amity went up and then went down. Like, she got the signal out there, but no one came immediately. No one came immediately, which I think for a second will change. I think at the end of the volume, everybody will start converging towards Atlas, or some people will come towards Atlas at the end of the thing, and then all the other kingdoms will most likely fortify themselves. Prepare for Salem's big assault for towards other cities. Because I think the next chapter is probably going to end up in Vacuo, due to the fact that that's where Tyrion and Mercury are. But again, then Penny decides, oh, I want to go to the vault and self-destruct. Okay, this is probably like not emotional, but it was kind of, well, actually, it was just feel good. It was just a feel good one. Through it all, she wanted to go all robot mode, and everyone, including Emerald, who helped out, had her pinned down. And John used this semblance to boost her aura, and realization is that she has a soul. She's more than just a robot. Everybody's telling her that now. Like, Nora and Rwby are telling her, you're more than just a robot. You're more than just the sum of your parts. You are a human. You know, you are a person. You're Penny. You're our friend. You know, and I was like, oh, that's a nice and everything. And Ospen came in and pretty much was just like, I'm sorry for not trusting y'all. I mean, I ran and sorry for running away from when the truth came out because I was like, dang, I messed up. So y'all forgive me, and they was like, yeah, we forgive you. We hear you out. And then now they are going to head to the vault. Penny's going to come alone. No, Penny's going alone, and we see at the end Neo, Watts, and Cinder are probably going to be heading there too, and that's going to be in. Like he just got the word that Penny's going to be alone, and that's. I'm frightened. I'm kind of frightened. So my prediction for the next chapter. Okay, I mean for the next episode. My prediction is that they're going to split up the teams again. They're going to split them up, and I believe Nora is going to go to Mantle. Nora and not Ren. They're gonna be split up into their own thing because they just determined that they're going like Nora needs to find herself. So I think they're gonna split that up to the same team that they had before. And Nora, I believe Nora is going to sacrifice herself. I think this is probably going to be, even though she said, I need to find myself, I think this is probably going to be the one where she's like, oh no. Like, oh, I don't want to think about that. I'm sorry. I didn't want to put that in y'all heads either. I don't know. Like, she's going to hit the bomb and boom, everything. She just, I don't want to think about that. No. Nope. So it not that. Don't forget about it. So I'm gonna end it with that. I'm gonna end it with something else. Let's see. Neo. No, I believe Cinder is going to probably most likely betray Neo at the end, trying to kill. Going to try and kill Neo and Rwby both at once, and it's I don't know. I just think it's gonna get worse. It's just gonna get worse for Cinder as it goes on. But my top players of today is Renora. Both of them. Both of them are my top characters in this one because this has been a long time coming for Ren to finally say, I love you to Nora. And Nora's like, oh, it took you this long? I always loved you. It's like, yeah, man. I mean, you couldn't get through your head that she loved you all this time. You couldn't get through your head that you loved her all this time. You know? God. But with all that said, excuse me, by the way. But with all that said, those two are my players. And bonus, Emerald is also my player. Her little quips here or there, trying to get everything, trying to get everybody to focus on the task at hand and not to give up, kind of was like, okay, cool. Kind of threw everybody off a little bit. But, she kind of gave a little bit of a motivational speech. and said that she was switching sides, and she did. And I want to believe that it's going to be it's going to be a big thing that she has to confront Salem. It's going to be a big deal that she has to confront. But with all that said, guys, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this episode just due to the fact that it answered a lot of questions that we was probably thinking about in the previous chapters and everything like that, and also the progression of Rwby's character. She's still optimistic, but she's realizing that she has to be realistic at the same time. And I'm thinking that's going to be detrimental. And I don't want it to happen, but as I was watching Murderer of Birds, give his prediction of when Rwby uses the silver eyes on a hound-like creature or something similar to the hound, intelligent enough and everything like that, and it's going to reveal her mom, that's going to really break her. But with this reveal, with her realizing that there could be a possibility, I don't think it will affect her as much, but it will still have like it won't affect her too heavy, but it will still be heavy. You get what I mean? I hope so, because I'm trying to explain that as much as I possibly can, and then sometimes it don't hurt. I mean, it don't work, and sometimes it does, and we all get confused. And right now, I'm just hoping that this next episode that's probably out now, and I should go watch it, and I will give you my review on it. Next Saturday. Honestly, that is my free time. Is Saturdays, or unless I call off of work, which should happen sometime. Sometimes we call off work. But with that said, I'm going to end this video with nothing but positive reviews for this episode. Made me emotional, made me feel. This was the most feeling episode I've seen in a minute. So, I liked it. I really did. I really enjoyed myself. And hopefully you go to roosterteeth.com and you watch it. Or if you aren't able to subscribe, I would recommend looking at the reviews from certain YouTubers. Like, you just type in that episode and you put in that review, and then you get the reviews from them. They don't spoil it too much. They don't even spoil it. They don't spoil it. You wait until, like, every Saturday you'll see someone upload the latest episode. So I recommend, following Murderer of Birds. Like in my last video, follow Murderer of Birds, follow Kaylin, go ahead and follow Freelance Amber. She's great too. Among a few others that are a part of the Rwby community, that are like pretty much staples of the Rwby community, that I find myself watching more often because I apparently, you know, the only thing is that I'm the only person in, you know, currently that just likes Ruby, and it's and this is just my thoughts. Sorry for the long video, but this is my thoughts on it's nice to find other people that enjoy this series as much as I do, or even more than I do, and they could, you know, they could give me a little more of what I'm missing from the series that I didn't realize. This is like, I'm not going to say that like in every fandom or every, you know, every community there are going to be some toxic people, but I'm glad that I find, you know, that I can find those that just enjoy, you know, that just enjoy Ruby, and has their, you know, has their theories and little opinions here or there that don't feel like, you know, that's not telling the writers what to do too much, you know, not telling the creators and writers what to do with future chapters and what to do here or there. Like, just give opinions on certain characters or something like that. I would, you know, I like, everyone has opinions. That's factual. Everyone has the right to their opinions, but for you to try and tell someone to create their creation in your way is kind of, is kind of like bonkers. I want to say that it's weird because it's like, it's their creation and you liked their creation where it, you know, you liked their creation from the beginning, and now since certain aspects has changed, you're telling them to change it back because they want to progress, trying different ways and trying different things. That's not at all cool. Like, I'm not saying just blindly like every single episode, you know, just stop trying to tear down every single time an episode comes out. I seen too many so-called fans that tear down, you know, that tear down so much about, so much about the series, that if you honestly have a problem with it, like, if y'all have a problem with it, stop watching it. Stop expecting them to just on a whim, just change their whole algorithm of how they're running their show, because this is, at the end of the day, it's their show. You're enjoying what they're putting out, obviously, but then when you tear down an entire episode or an entire volume, you should have just stopped watching it afterwards. You should have stopped. Let those that like what is going on enjoy it, and y'all just go watch something else. Go fan over something else. Go critique something else. Do something else. Because I'm liking what Rwby is putting out. I'm liking what Team Rwby is doing so far. I do have certain issues with certain episodes that has been addressed. That has been addressed. But again, that was just my little rant right there. I'm sorry. It just gets tiresome sometimes that we can't enjoy what we want to enjoy. You know, like, we can't enjoy our show without someone or some people just hating on it so hard, or critiquing on it, like critiquing on it so hard, hating it so hard. And it's just, it gets to the point where it becomes toxic. And that toxicity kind of just leaves a bad impression on those that wants to watch and see what happens next, not watch it just to see what they did wrong. Why are you pointing out what they did wrong? Why are you so focused on the wrong things? This doesn't go right with this. And so I'm mad about it. So I'm going to make a whole video about how wrong this was to me. But again, everybody has their opinions. You know, not telling you what to do, not telling like I'm I'm honestly giving y'all, giving just my opinions of how I feel about the how we turn from fans to critics when any type of fandom. Like for me, wrestling was one of my things. So again, I'm gonna end it right now. I'm gonna end it for real. I rambled. I rambled and went longer than what I wanted to. So with that said, this has been Dude, and I will see you next time. Peace.